ask you something. Why does it feel like at 16 years old, people expect you to already know your future career, your college major, your purpose, your passions, your personality, your 5 year plan, and somehow also know how taxes work? Like, excuse me, students are still trying to figure out if they even like tomatoes yet. And somehow society is saying, so what do you want to do for the rest of your life? At 16, that pressure is exhausting. And today, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the pressure to have your life figured out as a teenager, how comparison creates panic, why social media makes you feel behind, and how to stop believing you're failing just because your timeline looks different from someone else's. Because hear me clearly, you do not have to have your entire life mapped out before you've even fully lived it. Welcome to the Gracefully Growing podcast, the place where teens and young adults learn how to grow emotionally, mentally, and confidently using the Living with Grace framework. And grace stands for gratitude, reflection, affirmations, connections, as well as empathy. I'm your host, Dr. Kemi Kukwala, educator, author, mindset coach, and gratitude advocate, and your favorite reminder that growth takes time. So, before I go any further, I want to thank my 2,404 subscribers for joining me on this journey and that you continue to show up each week and you trust me to take you on this journey towards living a fulfilling life. If you're watching me right now and you were not subscribed to my channel, go ahead, click that subscribe button. What you waiting for? And make sure you turn on your notifications so that you will receive a notification every time I drop a new episode. And I drop a new episode every Monday morning. So, teens, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's talk about the pressure nobody talks about enough. I want you to go ahead and get your journal. If you don't have a journal, grab a notebook. If you don't have a notebook, open the notes app on your phone so you can take some notes. If you are looking for a great journal to help you on this journey, I have written the Affirmation Gratitude Journal that is available on Amazon, and I will be sure to post the link in the show notes for you. Let's be honest. Teens today are under pressure from every direction. There is the pressure from school, parents, teachers, social media, friends, the culture, and sometimes even themselves. And at 16, people start asking, what college are you going to? I know I'm guilty of asking my nieces and my nephews that. So I'm sorry in advance. Or what career do you want? What's your passion? What are you doing after graduation? And suddenly it feels like your entire worth depends on having an answer. Meanwhile, you're still trying to survive algebra, friendships, group projects, acne, hormones, and figuring out why your sleep schedule is completely broken. Let me tell you this. Teen years are already emotionally intense. Now let's add comparison to that. Comparison creates panic because it makes other people's lives look complete while yours feels confusing. And then social media especially makes it even worse because you open TikTok or Instagram and suddenly one teen owns a business already. Another got accepted into 12 colleges. Another one is traveling the world. Another says that they found their purpose at 14. And you're sitting there eating spicy chips at midnight, wondering if you are behind in life. But let's talk about something important. Social media often shows results, not confusion. It shows highlights, not the breakdowns. It shows success, not insecurity. You're comparing your unfinished story to someone else's edited, carefully curated trailer. And that creates, or that can create, emotional panic. So when I was an assistant principal, one of my students came to me one time and said this, well, everyone else knows what they want to be except me. So I asked the student, how you know that? And the student paused. Because here's the thing, most people don't fully know. I can tell you for free, some adults still don't know. There are grown adults who change careers in their 30s, their 40s, at 50. Me, change careers at 48, and some even at 60 years old. Some people become nurses after being teachers. I actually know of an individual that became a doctor after she had practiced nursing for over 20 years. Some people become entrepreneurs after corporate jobs, authors after retirement. I'm one of them. Content creators after completely different careers. Life evolves. You evolve. Your interests evolve. And that's normal. The problem is many teens think if I don't know right now, I'm failing. No, you're not. You are learning. There's a difference. Listen, honestly, being a teenager can sometimes feel like being dropped into a giant escape room with no instructions. And adults be like, make good decisions. How? Nobody even explained FAFSA completely yet or properly. So why does every school counselor meeting suddenly feel like, oh, so what do you want to do for the next 15 years of your life? Um, ma'am, sir, I don't even know what I want for dinner. Let's talk about how comparison creates panic in teenagers. Comparison often becomes dangerous when it turns into identity pressure. So then you start believing if they're ahead, I'm behind. If they're successful, that means I'm failing. If they know their purpose, I should too. And suddenly, your confidence drops, your anxiety rises, your self worth becomes tied to achievement. This is why so many teens feel emotionally overwhelmed. Comparison creates false urgency. It tricks you into thinking you're running out of time. But hear me clearly, you are not late. You are still growing. Teen years are supposed to include discovery, mistakes, uncertainty, exploration, curiosity, trial, and error, not perfection, not having everything figured out. Because here's the thing, you see, that student that everybody thinks has everything figured out is secretly feeling overwhelmed. The perfect student may be exhausted, anxious, emotionally drained, and terrified of disappointing people. And the student who seems lost may actually become incredibly successful later because they gave themselves permission to explore. Life is not a race. There is no universal timeline. Some people peak early, some peak later, some reinvent themselves multiple times. That's life. So, how do you stop panicking about your future? This is where the Living with Grace framework becomes powerful because grace helps you stay emotionally grounded while you grow. So, let's break it down. Gratitude allows you to stop focusing on only what's missing. It helps to interrupt panic. When teens compare themselves constantly, they usually focus on what they don't have, what they haven't accomplished, what they haven't figured out. Gratitude shifts your attention back to what is growing in your life. That matters because comparison says you are behind, while gratitude says you're progressing. Maybe you haven't figured out your career yet, but you survived difficult seasons, improved your grades, learned boundaries, became emotionally stronger, and developed resilience. That counts too. So, let me give you a practical teen gratitude exercise for right now. Now, I want you to start doing this today. Every night, write three things you handled well today in your journal. Three things you're learning, or one thing you appreciate about yourself. Not just achievements, growth, because growth deserves recognition. I always tell young people, we got to celebrate your small wins. Let's move on to reflection. Reflections allow you to get quiet long enough to hear yourself. Reflection is critical because many teens are making decisions based on pressure instead of self awareness. Sometimes a teen will say this, I want to be a doctor. But after reflection, they realize, no, that's what my parents want, not what I want. Or I want to go to this college, but really, I just want validation. So, therefore, reflection helps you to separate your voice from your outside expectations. Now, why does this matter? This matters because purpose is discovered through exploration and not panic. So, here's some reflection questions I want you to think about. One, what actually excites me? Two, what drains me? Three, what environments make me feel alive? Four, what problems do I care about solving? Remember, curiosity, exploration. Five, what do I enjoy when nobody is watching? Purpose leaves clues, and sometimes those clues look small at first. Very quickly, I know students in my work in over 20 years of being an educator. I know students who have discovered their passions through volunteering, editing videos, helping friends, coaching younger students, creating content, designing clothing, gaming communities, photography, science labs, music production. Sometimes purpose begins with curiosity, not certainty. Let's move on to affirmations. Your thoughts shape your emotional reality. Many teens speak to themselves harshly. I'm behind. I'm failing. I'll never figure it out. Everybody else is doing better than me. But your brain listens to what you repeat. And affirmations are not pretending that life is perfect. They are your reminders that uncertainty is normal. Growth takes time, and your future is still unfolding. I'm going to give you six powerful affirmations that you can start practicing today. Number one, I do not need to have everything figured out today. Number two, I am allowed to grow at my own pace. Number three, my value is bigger than achievements. Number four, confusion is part of growth. Number five, I can explore without panicking. Number six, my timeline does not need to match anyone else's. You can be authentically you. I want you to say these six affirmations consistently every day because panic will grow where self compassion is absent. So I'm encouraging you to have compassion for yourself through your growth process. Let's talk about connections. Connections is your reminder that you were never meant to figure out life alone. Because here's the thing about isolation. Isolation makes pressure worse. Sometimes teens suffer silently because they are thinking everyone else has it together. But honest conversations in communities change everything. Connections and community matters because mentors will guide you. Healthy friendships will support you. Community reminds you you are not alone. And this is one of the reasons I created the Living with Grace community and school platform because teens need safe spaces to ask questions, grow confidently, build emotional intelligence, develop life skills, and stop feeling like they must carry pressure alone. Inside my school community, we talk about confidence, emotional wellness, purpose, mindset, healthy relationships, stress management, and real life team challenges. Because growth happens faster in healthy environments. And honestly, sometimes you just need people around you who remind you you are doing better than you think. Let's move on to empathy. Empathy reminds you to give yourself the same kindness that you give to others. Teenagers are often incredibly compassionate towards their friends, but so cruel to themselves. If your friend said, I don't know my future yet, you probably won't respond, oh, wow, your life is over. But that's how many teens talk internally to themselves. So empathy means you're learning to treat yourself with patience. You are human, you are growing, you are learning, and growth is messy sometimes. And you do not have to earn rest. You do not need to earn worthiness. You do not need to earn the right to explore life slowly. Give yourself grace by becoming who you are. I'm going to provide you with 5 practical tips to help you in this process. Practical tip number 1. I want you to stop making permanent decisions based on temporary panic. You do not need every answer immediately. You don't need to figure anything out at 16. Just breathe. Focus on passing your classes. Enjoy your youth. Adult responsibilities will come soon enough. Practical tip number 2. Explore instead of obsessing. Try clubs, volunteering, internships, hobbies, creative projects, shadowing mentors, talking to your mentors. Exploration will build clarity for you. Number 3, limit comparison triggers. Sometimes your anxiety increases because your screen time increases. Tell me when I'm lying. Comparison is a thief of joy. It will destroy your peace. Protect your peace at all costs. Number 4, focus on skill building. Build your communication skills, build your leadership skills, build emotional regulation, your confidence, discipline, because these skills matter in every career. I don't care what career you're going into, these skills matter. So focus on building those skills while you're growing. And number 5, understand that purpose evolves. Your future may change multiple times. That is normal. As a matter of fact, the only thing constant in life is change. Welcome it, embrace it. If you are listening to me today, feeling overwhelmed, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind in life. You are becoming, and becoming takes time. Your current confusion does not disqualify your future success. Some of the strongest, smartest, most successful people once felt uncertain, insecure, overwhelmed, and completely lost. Growth is not always obvious while it's happening, but it is happening. If today's episode helped you, encouraged you, and helped you to breathe a little easier, or reminded you that you're not alone, I want you to stay connected. Join our Living with Grace community on School, where teens and young adults are learning how to build confidence, manage emotions, stop overthinking, develop purpose, strengthen mindset, and grow through life challenges together. This is more than motivation. This is transformation. And if you want deeper guidance, practical tools, activities, confidence building exercises, mindset coaching, and emotional wellness strategies, I want you to check out our Living with Grace course because you deserve support while figuring life out. Not pressure, support. And remember, you do not need your entire life figured out at 16. You just need the courage to keep growing. I want to thank you for spending time with me today on the Gracefully Growing podcast. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend. Send it to a teen who feels overwhelmed and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And always remember, give yourself grace while you grow. I'll see you in the next episode. And until then, keep growing, keep living with grace, and remember, you got this, and I am rooting for you. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Gracefully Growing. Thank you so much for tuning in and growing with me. Remember, living with grace means showing gratitude, taking the time for reflection, speaking powerful affirmations, building strong connections, and practicing daily empathy with yourself and others. If today's episode gave you something to think about, inspired you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also download today's free resource in the show notes and join our Gracefully Growing community on social media for more tools, encouragement, and real talk. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, keep growing, and most of all, keep living with grace. I am Dr. Kemi. See you next week.